I'm Tommie Lee, and this is the Scam of the Week. We've got Jan Diaz, the president and CEO of Your Better Business Bureau, serving Northern Indiana, joining us. Jan, always great to have you here.
Yeah, likewise, Tommie. It's always great to be here.
So today we're talking about something that might not be on everybody's radar, but it probably should be. If you've been thinking about getting your driveway paved or repaved, that time of year is here. But you got to do your homework.
Yeah, that's right. Summer is when a lot of folks tackle home improvement projects. And one of the big ones we're seeing this time of year is asphalt paving work. But unfortunately, it's also when we see a rise in asphalt paving scams. So the scammers are preying on property owners who are trying to do the right thing, which is improve their property, but they might not realize that they're being taken advantage of until it's too late.
I think we've all seen those signs here and there that say things like leftover asphalt or, hey, we're already working in your neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. So, Jan, let's break it down. What does the scam usually look like? How do they get you reeled in?
It usually starts with someone showing up at your front door or leaving a flyer. So the scammer will say they've just finished a job nearby. They have leftover asphalt that they can use on your driveway and at a discount. So it might sound like a great bargain, but it's actually a red flag, and saying yes too quickly can be costly.
Very true. And it's usually not just one red flag, right? I mean, these scams seem to follow a pattern. I know we talk about this one pretty much every year.
Exactly. So these paving scammers are often really pushy. That's one of the signs that it's a scam. And they'll pressure you to decide right away without getting other quotes or checking up on them. So the price might seem like a great bargain and a great deal, but the work is usually poor quality, or the scammer takes your money and disappears. Sometimes they'll do part of the job and then demand more money than what you originally agreed to. And by the time you try to follow up, they're long gone.
And in that situation, you're out the money. You're stuck with poor quality work, or worse, no work at all. Either way, you've got to get the job done. And now you're still at square one, possibly with a mess.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And to make things worse, some of these scammers go after older adults or people who live alone, because the scammers know who to target, and they're looking for the folks who might not feel comfortable speaking up, or the folks who don't know how to check if a business is legit.
So let's talk about that. How does somebody know if a paving company is legit? How do they know if they're the real deal?
Yeah, great question. So first, just do your research before saying yes to a paving job. You can look the company up on bbb.org. You can find the reviews and read those, and you can see if there's any complaints against the company. There's a lot of information out there that can help you make that decision. And then just make sure, if you decide to move forward, get a detailed contract in writing. And you want to make sure that that contract spells out the work, the cost, the timeline, if there's any guarantees, things like that. And then we also caution, don't pay everything up front, and just be cautious if someone's asking you to pay cash only, because that's a huge red flag.
Absolutely. So let's say somebody's trying to, legitimately get some work done. What are some safe steps that they can take to protect themselves?
Yeah, so here's what we suggest at the BBB. First, start by getting multiple quotes. Don't just go with the first person who shows up at your front door. And you can always ask for references from the person that you're speaking with, but make sure that you're following up on those references, because there's things you can find out by talking with the folks who had work done by that company or individual.
Right.
And then make sure that you're dealing with someone who is licensed and insured locally. That's really important, that they're keeping up on their licensing, or that they're licensed to begin with. And then avoid anyone who won't put what they're telling you in writing. That's another warning sign that something's not right. And then finally, never pay the full amount up front. Even if they ask you to pay everything up front, a small deposit might be okay, but if they want the full payment up front, especially asking you to pay in cash, before the work starts, that's a big warning sign.
Okay, so if somebody thinks that they've been targeted by one of these paving scammers, what should they do?
Yeah, they should just act quickly. Report it to the Better Business Bureau through our scam tracker at bbb.org/scam tracker. And that will help alert others, and it gives us the information that we can use to investigate the scam. And then also report it to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. The Federal Trade Commission tracks national trends and scams. And then if you've paid with a credit card, call the company right away to dispute the charge. Typically, you'll get your money back if you pay with a credit card, because they can help. You can negotiate with them on that. And then keep an eye out on your credit report. That's another important thing. You can even set up fraud alerts or even consider a credit fee freeze on your credit report just to be on the safe side.
And something like this, for like a neighborhood-based scam, it's also a good idea to let your neighbors know, correct?
That's right. Absolutely. So these scammers often will hit an entire neighborhood. So letting your neighbors know could stop them from falling for it too. So share it with your neighborhood association. You can also go on community boards and then apps such as Nextdoor to make everyone aware. And it's important to get the word out because it really does make a difference.
As always, Jan, we appreciate the excellent advice. And anybody who is planning home improvements this summer, again, make sure you slow down, you ask questions, you do your research before you sign anything. Make sure the people that you're hiring to do the work are legit. Jan, we always appreciate you over there at the Better Business Bureau for Northern Indiana. And we will talk again soon on the Scam of the Week.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Tommie.
Podcasts by Federated Media.